Hi! Welcome back to the weird side of YouTube. This is the Reading Storm. In case you're confused, this was filmed on the same day as the BookTube newbie tag. So, I thought that I would go ahead and do the 25 bookish facts about me. I guess that's a tag, I'm not sure. Number one, it's hard for me to read one book at a time. I have the same issue with writing one book at a time. I think I may have ADHD, but I haven't been diagnosed. I've always had issues focusing on one thing, and that is the absolute 100% truth. Number two is I think all books are overpriced, including mine. There's no reason why a paperback should cost over $20. I don't care that it's new. This is why I have a hard time with Barnes & Noble, because that's my happy place, but everything is so expensive and it's so aggravating. My favorite place to go to buy books is used bookstores, because I know a lot of people don't like the bin-up covers and stuff, but I think that adds character to the book. I'm all about fantasy, like old tome-looking stuff, so that is great for me. But I do understand why a lot of people don't like that. Number three is I don't really resonate with what's popular. Maybe I'm a contrarian, but every time I get into a popular fantasy or dystopian series, I hate it and I don't finish it. That is absolutely true. I don't know what it is, I just don't really I can't get into them. It's just strange. Number four is piggybacking off of that, some of my favorite stories, and when I say stories, I mean video games, movies, television, shows, and books, get awful reviews. I love the movie Sucker Punch, I love the show Once Upon a Time, and I love Emily Autumn's The Asylum for Victorian Girls, all three of which are looked down upon, basically. I'm not going to sit here and say that my tastes are more refined or that most people just don't understand some kinds of art, but I will acknowledge that the fact that I like weird shit. Number five is some of my favorite stories aren't from books at all. They're either from video games or movies. Don't get me wrong, I love reading, but there are other ways of storytelling, and I stand by that. Number six is Barnes & Noble is like my happy place. It's hella overpriced, but it makes me happy. Number seven is the only books I would check out from the public library when I was a kid were ones that had plots revolving around mermaids, had a mermaid on the cover, or mentioned mermaids in their titles. I don't know why. I've always been obsessed with mermaids and vampires. My elementary school had a book day where all the students dressed up as their favorite book character. I was the mouse from If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Everyone thought that I was Mickey Mouse, and it annoyed the absolute hell out of me. And I hated that day, because there was also a girl there that was dressed like Minnie Mouse, so all the teachers were like, get them together, they're a couple, oh, it's so cute. No, that's gross as hell. Number nine is I read like 100 books. I read like 100 books one summer so that I could win a bunch of pizzas. Looking back, I realized this reward system was what made me think that I didn't like reading as a teenager. I thought it taught me that reading was a tool to get a reward, but reading is its own reward in actuality, and I have a whole video about this. I'll have an annotation somewhere. Number 10 is I believe that if you don't read, you can't be a writer. To some of you, that might be very silly, like I'm stating the obvious. But I've met so many people, fellow writers, that not only actively dislike reading, but actually make fun of me for enjoying it. And lo and behold, their work was quite trite and very dependent on cliches and overused tropes. Enough said. 11. Book fairs were my favorite thing growing up. I loved them so much that I still dream about them. I'm not even kidding. They were absolutely magical, and I do have dreams about book fairs still when I'm 31 years old. They were the coolest thing that ever happened in school. Number 12 is, in case you can't tell, fantasy is my favorite genre. But I've yet to read any book by Tolkien or J.K. Rowling. I would like to read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit eventually, but I think I'll give Harry Potter a pass because, you know, I love trans people. 13. I really dislike electronic reading. It's just weird to me. I need to see, feel, and smell the book in my hand, otherwise I'm just not going to get anything out of it. And I don't know. Old soul, I guess. 14. Audiobooks are great though. It reminds me of when I was little, my mom would read me bedtime stories. and I do love being told stories. 15 is spoilers have never bothered me. In fact, a lot of times I've looked up the entire plot synopsis of a book or a video game before purchasing it, and I still thoroughly enjoyed it. That's how I am. 16. In high school, I got a really cringy poem published in the school newspaper. It was a really emo, whiny breakup poem, and I still feel embarrassed when I think about it. My teachers seemed to adore it, though, and looking back, it was terrible, but I guess maybe they were just excited that I was being creative. I don't know. 17. Speaking of high school, I was in an after-school club. It wasn't a book club. It wasn't a gay-straight alliance, as my school was too homophobic to allow anything like that. No, it was an anime club where me and all of my nerdy friends would watch anime, read manga, and talk about it. We even wrote fan fiction and read it aloud. 18. I write what I can't find in books. I write what I want to read, and I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. 19. I have very vivid memories of multiple large bookcases in my childhood home. One was filled with children's books like George and Martha, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, My Little Mermaid collection, blah blah blah, and the second was my mother's, which was filled with Stephen King, Mary Shelley, H.P. Lovecraft, and the like. And yes, I did sneak some of those books out from time to time. Sorry, Mom. 20. I have done 2 book reviews on this channel, one for Disney and philosophy, which, by the way, if you think it's a good place to start your journey into philosophy, it isn't. It's hard as hell. And another for Emily Autumn's The Asylum for Victorian Girls, which was the best book I read in 2020. 21. Yes, I do book reviews, but I don't think I'll ever do one for a book that I don't like. If I'm in the middle of a book and I hate it, I'm not going to waste my time with finishing it. If I finish a book and it isn't fantastic, I won't do a book review of it, simply because, in my opinion, writing is like an art, and art is subjective. Just because I don't like a story doesn't mean someone else won't. And I don't want to encourage someone not to get a book they're really excited about just because I didn't like it. 22. Other than reading and writing, I also do art videos and gaming videos on this channel. I might do makeup videos eventually, but I don't think I'm good enough for that yet. I don't know, do you guys agree with that? I don't know if I'm good enough or not. 23. Lockdown wasn't hard at all for me. Usually all I do is sit at home and read or game or do chores or make art. I have no life. 24. There are some tropes that I will make... 24. There are some tropes that will make me stop reading a book outright. I would list some of them here, but I am planning to make a dedicated video for them. Look forward to that. And lastly, 25. My favorite thing to do is sit outside on a clear summer night, reading a book, sipping a glass of wine next to a scented candle, just letting myself drift away into the world of the book. And that has always been my favorite thing to do. Except in high school when I thought I didn't like to read, but you know what I mean. But that is my 25 bookish facts about me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, but honestly, I appreciate just a view. Let me know any requests you guys, like booktuber requests of like tags and stuff, because I don't really know many of them. But if you guys want to see me do any of those booktube tags, let me know. I would love to do them all if I could. Until then, I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys are staying safe. I love you, and remember that happiness is a choice. I have depression, but I choose to smile every day. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.